for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Councilmember Gulick has our invocation tonight.
Good evening. As we gather here in service to the people of Billings, let us pause for a moment of reflection. We are grateful for the opportunity to live and work in this place of stunning beauty, defined by the braided, wild Yellowstone River, the glowing rim rocks, and our sunny blue skies. We are a hard-working, generous, and down-to-earth people, capable of wondrous things. Great places do not just happen by themselves. They require the attention, intentions, and love of place and its people to happen. May we be ever mindful of our shared responsibility to uphold the values of fairness, integrity, and stewardship so that we might become a city that is every bit as great as its natural beauty. As we deliberate tonight, may we listen with open minds, speak with compassion, and make decisions that serve the common good. May wisdom guide our words, and may cooperation prevail so that we collectively figure out the best decisions. Let our efforts honor the trust placed in us by the citizens of Billings and contribute to a future marked by hope, opportunity, and unity. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Gulick. Denise, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Shaw.
Excused.
Councilmember Gulick. Neese.
Present.
Owen.
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Kennedy.
Here.
Aspenleiter. Tidswell. Boyette. Rupsis. Mayor Cole.
Here. Council, our minutes for this evening are from July 14th. Is there either a motion or commentary on that? Councilmember Gulick?
I move we adopt the minutes of July 14th, 2025.
Second by Councilmember Boyette. Any discussion? Seeing none, if in favor of the motion for approval of the minutes from July 14, please say aye. Aye. If opposed, say nay. Motion passes unanimously. So we have a privilege to have a couple of awards that Chief St. John is bringing to us. Chief, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, good evening. It is my distinct pleasure to recognize and honor everyday heroes whose actions have had an extraordinary impact on our community. More important, to spotlight the powerful reminder of what it means to be part of a compassionate and engaged community. I'd like to invite Zach Simonson to the podium, please. Mayor, on March 28th, Zach, who's a clerk at a local Circle K, noticed an elderly woman standing at a Bitcoin ATM speaking to someone on her phone, and he could hear the caller on the other end had a foreign accent. Sensing that she was being exploited, Zach called law enforcement, and officers arrived just in time to prevent the woman from being scammed out of $35,000, money that she believed was using to pay county bills. Not city, by the way, but county. The investigating detective was so impressed with Zach's attentiveness and swift action that he submitted him for this award, citing that one of our community's most vulnerable members was spared serious financial damage. Zach's willingness to intervene is commendable, and we thank him for doing so. As such, Zach is awarded this department's Citizens Heroes Award, and the citation reads this: "It's presented to Zach Simonson in recognition of your concern for your fellow citizen during an incident on March 28 at the Circle K on Grand Avenue. Your willingness to quickly alert the police and intervene on behalf of your customer is honorable and commendable. Your caring professionalism saved a life in many ways. You are a community hero." That's presented by the police department. Mayor.
Thank you for this award. I managed the Circle K on 4041 Grand, Shiloh and Grand, and a couple years ago we had Bitcoin machines installed in our in all of our stores, well, the larger ones anyway. And since then, I would say 9 out of 10 customers that use the machines tend to be elderly, tend to be on the phone. And so I've over many months have picked up the signs of what is most likely a scam. And it kind of floored me when I found out this lady had $35,000 she was going to put in, because in my estimate, over the last couple of years, I have probably saved many of our senior citizens at least $100,000, if not more, in their life savings. So, I'm a huge fan of heroes. I'm a huge fan of comic books. So even the smallest bit of the smallest chance that I get to be a hero, I didn't do it for me. Obviously, I did it to save someone else. So, thank you for the honor.
Chief, before we go on, just to Zach and his family, we need more of you. Thank you very much. And the fact that this was not apparently a one-time event is really both terrifying, but also glad that you're there where you are. So thank you for serving our community. Please keep it up. Sounds like a systemic problem. We need to figure bigger solutions as well. So back to the Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. With your permission, I do have another.
Please.
And I would like to invite Teresa Butcher to the podium, please. Your Honor, on May 26th of this year, officers responded to a missing person involving a 77-year-old gentleman suffering from Alzheimer's. After over 6 hours missing, search efforts placed him in the rugged terrain surrounding the Pictograph Cave State Park, facing dangerous weather conditions without food, water, or protective clothing. Witnesses had seen him enter the grounds of the Kuhlman Ranch, a vast property along the Yellowstone River with limited access for law enforcement. Faced with a race against time and difficult terrain, ranch owner Steve Coleman and his daughters, Teresa Butcher and Sarah Burns, immediately stepped forward, volunteering their time, their personal ATVs, and knowledge of the land. The Kuhlman family played an integral role in the search. It was Teresa who ultimately located the victim 2 miles from the Pictograph Cave Visitor Center, just as he was about to attempt crossing a seasonal stream. Teresa gave the victim water and transported him back to the visitor center. The victim was wet and cold, but in good spirits. He was transported to the Billings Clinic for a mental and physical assessment. Officers on the scene firmly believe that the victim would not have survived the night if not for the Kuhlman family's selfless assistance, especially Teresa's. And for her actions, Teresa is awarded this department's Citizens Hero Award. And the citation reads, to Teresa, in recognition of your concern for your fellow citizen during a search for an elderly individual who had become lost on May 16th, your willingness to aid in search and rescue using your own resources with adverse seasonal conditions is honorable and commendable. Your caring and determination saved a life. You are a community hero, and we greatly appreciate it. Teresa, congratulations.
I appreciate the recognition, but it really was a group effort. There were people in the sky, there were people on four-wheelers, guys hiking the rough terrain, on foot through the rain. So it's a group effort, but I appreciate this very much. Thank you.
Mayor, I have one more, if you so please.
Please.
I would like to invite our SROs to the podium, please, for a presentation.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Tim Dahl, School Resource Officer here in Billings. I've got SRO Jeremy Beckel and SRO Jeff Richter here. We got the opportunity about a month ago to host our first ever Camp Blue, Building Leadership, Unity, and Ethics Camp. We hosted 25 kids from around the city that got to experience what law enforcement is like and how we take that leadership role with law enforcement and tie it into the students' educational system. So we had the opportunity to do this, and we had to figure out a way of funding it. we went out and we sought private funding. This camp was 100% funded privately. It did not cost the city, well, it cost the city a little bit. Our wages for the week was it. Our goal next year, it went so well that we've had people reach out saying, we want to continue to do this. We want to see it double in size. We want to go 2 weeks instead of 1. We want to increase the size to having the Sheriff's Department, Stillwater County, Laurel, numerous other agencies step in that have SROs involved as well. And because of the support we had, because of the donations, we've been trying to go around and thank everyone possible. So first and foremost, we'd like to thank Mayor Bill Cole for his generous donation. What we did is we had a plaque created, designed by students, a student and a teacher at Skyview High School.
Thank you.
They
It's
laser
beautiful.
engraved that. Approximately, I think, 5 hours went into each one of those plaques. The second one is for the chief for allowing us to run this camp. It was kind of a off-the-cuff thing. It just came into fruition because of a large donation by another business in town that made this happen. It's been our goal for months or years to do this, and it's just been trying to figure out how we're going to do it. And it kind of was one of those things that's gotten so big that now it's how do we run it for 2 weeks? How do we bring in 50 kids instead of 25 kids? And then how do we just continue to grow and grow and grow? So basically the students learned everything that we have teamwork wise. We brought in our SWAT teams, our drone teams, investigations team, negotiator team for communication skills, and they got to see everything we do as a leadership side of things. So we just want to say thank you for allowing us to do it. Thank you, Chief, for allowing us to do our stuff. Thank you.
Your Honor, that concludes courtesies for the PD. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chief. Just one of the many good things that our police department does for us every day. Thank you. We don't have any proclamations this evening. Any council reports? Any city administrator report? Chris?
Yeah, Mayor and Council, just a handful of things here. First of all, no ex parte communication came in late this afternoon. Secondly, would like the council to consider making a motion to remove item 1B, that's B as in boy, from the agenda. We'll bring it back at a future date. So if you're so inclined to please do that here in a few minutes. A couple other brief items is you should have seen in the weekly report on Friday that the second quarter report on goals and objectives is there. Also, we worked diligently to make adjustments, particularly to the public safety, law enforcement. Part of that report, it's attached. And so I would ask you please to take a look at that and give us more feedback. You know, it's going to be an iterative process to get to the right point there. So that report, I just wanted to highlight for you. Also, inside of that report was something I just stuck a hard copy between you guys. I don't need any action tonight, but it's there's a group of 8 employees who've been working on a review of our core values. So Jessica Foost, Anna Vicker, Brandon Schmidt, Louis Angles, Jeff Sprock, Morgan Links, and Kim Disk have been helping to review what we had and have proposed some changes. And so the stage of this process we're in, frankly, is communicating both up and down to get feedback across the organization. I think it's critical that this isn't something that's top down, but it's inclusive. So I would just ask you to please take the time to review and give us any feedback, because ultimately I will ask that the council adopt them officially as a part of ultimately we'll be looking at our mission statement and seeing how they align, and then it'll be up to this body or future bodies if they want to get into the vision for the organization. So just wanted to highlight that. And then last but not least, based on feedback or what we just witnessed, maybe there's a conversation to be had with Circle K or others. Do we need Bitcoin machines at gas stations? Maybe it is a request. Like we've had requests to not sell singles. And there's been times over the past decades in a cooperative relationship where businesses have agreed not to do things that were causing issues. So, boy, news to me. I had no idea. I mean, you hear of people being scammed, but it certainly would not have dawned on me that in our community, 6 figures or more are being taken from seniors in a location like that. So I have no idea. You could take a regulatory approach, or maybe not a regulatory approach, a request approach to those businesses to see if they might be a stronger partner in helping our seniors in that regard. And that's all that I have, Mayor and Council.
Very good. Thank you, Chris. And I'm sure we would all like to look into that issue more. I think that certainly caught me by surprise anyways, as well. Council, we will have to address the issue that Chris raised of our agenda. But before we do that, I'd suggest that we receive public comment on items on our agenda, because that item 1B is on our agenda. It's unlikely that somebody is here to comment, but if we remove it, technically it's not on our agenda anymore. So let's deal with that right before we hit our consent agenda, and open up for public comment tonight on any item 1 or 2. That's our consent agenda, or TIF application number 2. If you came and would like to comment on anything on our agenda tonight, now's your opportunity, because there are no public hearings later. Mr. Brooks.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Dan Brooks with the Billings Chamber at 815 South 27th Street. With so few items on the agenda, I'll try to keep it brief. Maybe this is going to be a record-setting quick meeting tonight. Knock on wood. I do want to show our support for consent agenda item 1E. That's the resolution of intent to reauthorize the bid. I know this is a very preliminary step here before you go to make that decision later on, but I want to offer our support for the public safety benefits from that program, namely helping to fund 3 downtown police officers with those funds, and, believe it or not, helping public safety through the flower baskets. Yes, even the flower baskets that can pose as a deterrent for folks looking to potentially commit crimes in our downtown. I was searching back this morning through some emails that I had sent out to former Councilwoman Purinton, who had asked about some studies on the veracity of SEPTED, one of which had some researchers who were interviewing juvenile criminals about how they decide where they're going to steal or commit property crimes, tag a building. And in those instances where a building has potted flowers, they avoid those because they know people are taking care of it, people are looking after it. They go to somewhere else where they know that they're not going to be seen. So yes, even our flower planters in the downtown can pose a deterrent for crime in the area. So I want to mention our support for that. And then for the TIF application as well, this filling in a vacant property lot there with a new business is going to be a great infill project with the infrastructure already in place, helping to grow business in the community and also provide then those SEPTED benefits of natural surveillance and eyes on the street. And I'll end early with that and ask your support of those 2 items. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Other public comment on either item 1 or item number 2, please come forward. Do we have any other public comment on either items 1 or 2? Anything on our agenda tonight? No one's standing up. No one's coming forward. So we'll close the public comment period. And now, Councilmember Aspenleiter.
Thanks, Mayor. I'd like to remove agenda item 1B for rescheduling at staff's direction, and then remove agenda item 1D for purposes of recusal.
Very good. On the first element of that, is there a second, Councilmember Kennedy? That was to change the agenda. Okay. And then Councilmember Aspenleiter can remove the other one unilaterally. So we'll entertain that motion. So I assume neither of you want to speak to your motion. So the motion is to remove item 1B to a time uncertain, to be determined later by staff to come back. If in favor of that change to our agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. If opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Any other separations? Councilmember Kennedy.
Mayor, I would like to separate 1E, resolution of intent to create downtown business improvement district.
Okay. Any other separations? Okay, we'll move ahead then to the unseparated item. Is there a motion relating to those? Councilmember Boyette.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we approve the consent agenda items except for 1E and 1D for recusement.
Very good. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Rupsis. Discussion now on the motion or questions on any of these items? Seeing none, we'll move to vote. The motion is to approve the unseparated items. If in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. If opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. First separated item then is item 1B, professional engineer, for recusal purposes, professional engineering services contract with, I apologize. That's what we removed. Councilmember Rasmussen-Leiter's recusal, final plat for Nalcook subdivision, item 1D as in dog. Councilmember Boyette.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we approve item 1D.
Motion is approval 1D. Councilmember Neese indicates a second. Either of you like to speak to your motion? No. Motion is to approve item 1D. If in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. If opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Then
with
our next separated item, 1E.
With Aspenlighter recusing.
With Councilmember Aspenlighter recusing himself on that vote on item 1D. Item 1E was separated by Councilmember Kennedy. Councilmember Kennedy, would you like to start us on that?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things. I had asked this question before, and if you look at the map, we have these properties that are on the other side of the tracks. Number one is we keep on hearing about the 3 police officers. We do not have 3 police officers doing anything right now because there isn't any police officers able to help that. And I have a concern that people are paying on I'm only talking on the south side of the tracks because I haven't seen any beautiful flowers or anything on the south side of the tracks that people, looking at the map here, people are paying for some taxes in that area. So what I'm asking for is if Katie could come up and answer a couple questions. I'd kind of like to know how much money is generated south of the tracks for these areas and what actually, since there are not police officers to actually protect them, what are they getting, what bang for their buck?
Mayor and Council, is this on? Councilmember Kennedy, Katie Schreiner, CEO for Downtown Billings on behalf of the Business Improvement District tonight. I think these are excellent questions because our safety program does look different this year than it has in the past. And I think the points that you raise should be answered, and I appreciate the opportunity to put it on record. We do have still a downtown safety program. We have worked very diligently with our board that is represented by properties within the district who are paying this assessment, and it's a board appointed by council. We have worked to revamp our safety program to make sure that we are utilizing these funds for elements of safety within the district. So currently, we are contracting with a private security firm. We took our request for proposals out to our community. We received 2 proposals back. Our board elected to contract on a month-to-month basis with SK Security, a private security firm located in downtown Billings, in order to fill that gap that does exist currently because there are not Billings police officers available for our program, as they're not available for other programs in our community as well. In addition to that, we still have our downtown outreach program, which is made up of peer support specialists who work with individuals who are on the street, either due to mental health crisis, experiencing homelessness, addiction issues, and working to get them into appropriate services through our partners with Rimrock, Riverstone, Crisis Center, Yellowstone Detention Facility, et cetera. We also still are working with our CEPTED program to make sure we're still doing all of the grants and evaluations that we've been doing for years in partnership with the Chamber. to make sure that we are evaluating our crime prevention through environmental factors there as well. But our main prongs of our safety program currently are private security, our homeless outreach team, and our bid clean team as well, all working to create this atmosphere of safety for downtown. The private security firm does patrol and visit our properties that are south of our railroad tracks. I receive a report every single shift. Significant time is spent around our skate parks and through our other neighborhoods that are south of the railroad tracks. So I'm happy to share those reports that our security firm is issuing to us. As far as the flower baskets, that is a program that is specific to our clean zone, which I spoke of the last time we were here. That is our sort of our central core of downtown, and they pay more within those properties than the properties outside of that clean zone for these services, specifically for something like flower baskets, snow plowing, sidewalk sweeping, trash removal, etc.
I would ask that you and the homeless committee come to the Southside Task Force meeting, because talking to folks that come to the Southside Task Force, people are not quite understanding what they get for what they're paying into here. So I would like to see that. Also, last meeting, you brought with the bid the spreadsheet of how you spend your money. Could you break out the salary, what goes for salaries, what goes for the parking and things like that?
If I
I'll
may,
give you a call on it, but I'd like to see that.
Yeah, if I may have a little bit more direction of what you would
Sure.
like to see, and maybe we could get a little direction of how to break that up from the different zones that exist within the business improvement district. But I'm happy to do a little bit of work to hopefully reflect the different percentages that different properties pay based on the services that they receive. And I think that might clarify some of the services that are available.
That would be helpful, because I'll vote for this tonight to go before us in a couple of weeks, but I would like those answered before it finally comes on the creation.
Absolutely, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. And Katie, on that, I'll just comment, maybe it's time to make another poll to decide whether, or ask some of the businesses south of the tracks if they'd like to join the clean zone, at least along Minnesota. I'd hate for us to make assumptions that they do not want to participate based on something that happened 10 or 20 years ago, right? We ought to periodically be going to them. Maybe you already do that, but if not, it's probably good for everyone to know.
Mayor Cole, thank you. And to answer that, we do frequently do ask the properties in various areas, what services they do want to receive. And so that's certainly something that we can look at. Most of the Minnesota Avenue properties do receive snow plowing, sidewalk sweeping, trash removal. The flower basket program hasn't moved that direction, simply with logistics of watering that many baskets outside of the core, but certainly something we can look at. Absolutely. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Anything else? Councilmember Neese, Councilmember Gulick? Okay, Councilmember Gulick?
I'm just ready to make a motion. I move that we approve the resolution of intent to create Downtown Business Improvement District 1. Second.
Councilmember Gulick with the motion, Councilmember Neese with the second, to approve item 1E. Further discussion now. Any further discussion? Councilmember Neese.
Mayor, I think this has been a good program, and I think it needs to continue. I do agree that there maybe needs some expansion of the program. I think you've heard me talk about the graffiti. I really would like to see that expand a little bit more in the cleanup and a little bit higher up in alleys. So, but thank you very much for the downtown doing this, and the property owners being willing to help take this extra on them. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. Any further discussion? Okay, we'll proceed to a vote. The motion is for approval of item 1E. If in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. If opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. That concludes item 1, our consent agenda. Brings us to our regular agenda. Denise, would you read item number 2?
Tax increment financing assistance from the East Billings Urban Renewal District, eBird, to Montana Tire MBA Properties LLC for construction of a new automotive tire shop along the north side of First Avenue North between 16th Street and 17th Street, up to a maximum reimbursement of $634,185, as recommended by the Billings Industrial Revitalization District Bird Board.
If not, I'll just.
While you're bringing it up, Heather, welcome to the City Council. I think this might mark your first one of these presentations, so welcome. And before you just dive into the project, maybe you just want to give us a 30 seconds on yourself. Tell us a little bit about you and how you ended up here today.
So my name is Heather Doty. I've been with the Bird for a little bit over a year, working with Michelle. I am, sorry. Talking to the mic.
Yep.
Hi. I'm a Montana native. I grew up in Great Falls. I've been in Billings for probably, I think like 15 or 17 years. I don't know. Seems like a really long time. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Very good. Welcome to the party.
I love this. Yeah, thanks. It is a party. It's great. I'm so excited to be in front of you guys and presenting this to you. I'm just going to start. Is that okay?
Is this, you're in PDF, is that what you're using?
Perfect. Talking to that guy now. All right. Hello, Council and Mr. Mayor. So we are here to talk about the Montana Tire TIF. So that guy. Montana Tire Distributors has been a trusted part of the Billings community for over 20 years. Currently, they are located on 13th between 4th and 6th. You wouldn't really know it. It's kind of hard to see them back in there. Their new facility will be located on First Avenue North, and it starts the development of an entire block. So when you're looking at this, what we're bringing to you tonight, it is for that entire block, all of the landscaping, all of the curbs, all of the gutters on the whole thing. This building is not just a building, it's an investment in the neighborhood that supports local jobs, improves infrastructure, and sets the stage for more economic growth. As far as project overview, it is ground up construction. It is, like I said, established business, been here 20 years. Project scope is site preparation, utility work, new commercial building construction, public facing improvements, landscaping, sidewalks, lighting, infrastructure upgrades, and long-term district use. So what you guys are going to see here is there was another TIF done on this property in 2019. A building that was a Menhold building caught fire. They were given $66,000 to tear that down. So that top photo is going to be from that. And then your overview is right over the top. This is going right across the street from where the new vet clinic is, and then Yellowstone Ice and Water is off to the other side of that. That's a view from 1st and 16th, and then one from 1st and 17th. So this is just an entirely blank slate. It's had cars parked on it, I think, since 2019, just ready for redevelopment. The TIF request breakdown. So this, the total TIF requested amount is $634,185. This is 14% of that total project cost. The breakdown is $104,000 to landscaping, $83,000 to stormwater, $241,000 goes to the right of way on the north and south end of that property, $57,000 on lighting, eBird approved specifically. The demo is $41,000, and then fire suppression $100,000, sewer service $53,87. The total project price of this breakdown with that land cost is over $6 million. This is one of the larger developments that's come into the area since the TIF began. This is the second largest TIF ask since the beginning of this TIF, which is also notable. This is going to be your mock-ups of this. And then, like I said, this is full block. So when you see there, they are planning on doing the curbs, the landscaping, everything all the way around the perimeter of that property. They've gotten a few different easements for setbacks and things. It's going to be beautiful. Alignment with master plan. This brings new jobs, boosts the taxable value, attracts customers, supports the industrial and commercial use, improves safety and cleanliness, sparks private investment, follows the master plan by emphasizing strong design, walkability, and curb appeal, revitalizes vacant land, promotes smart infill, so makes efficient use of urban land and infrastructure, upgrades infrastructure, and energizes a key corridor. And then this is more of the same. So this converts that long vacant site into a productive commercial business. It's really cool to drive by there right now and see everything gone off of that, because in my head, you can see the vet's office going up and see what's coming. It drives economic impact. This injects 5.7 million into the local economy. So that's benefiting our contractors. That's benefiting absolutely everyone, myself, anybody who comes in contact with this on a daily basis, even if it's just driving by. Fosters community pride. This demonstrates visible reinvestment and momentum in the eBird, which is super important, and then delivers long-term value. The next steps are, this project is planned for a 12 to 14-month build-out. They are anticipating site work and foundation in August and September, and then construction in the winter. They're hoping to have occupancy prior to July 1st, and then we're looking at 2027 payout on this too. All right. Questions?
Okay, very good. Questions, Councilmember Boyette
Thank you, Mayor.
and Councilmember Neese.
Heather, when I met with you before, you had talked about maybe making this more of a community area too, like maybe with food trucks. Can you visit about that a little bit?
Yes, Ryan, our owner, is here too. But yeah, so Ryan is super community driven. He's been in the community for 20 plus years. So there's talk of us being able to do little things on the property, putting food trucks up. I think he eventually does plan to redevelop the rest of that block as well. This is like one of those like pride and joy local community things that he has made really clear that it's about being part of the neighborhood and having those things there.
Very good. Councilmember Neese.
Thank you, Mayor. Heather, you mentioned that new jobs, and I think maybe I'm not looking at the same thing you are, because it looks like there was no new employees. It went from 8 to 8. Is that correct? Are there new jobs coming? Is this going to be?
And if you would just come forward and use the mic, then people out there in TV land will hear you, and somebody may discover you and go off to Hollywood or something.
So I'm Ryan Anderson. I own Montana Tire. But yeah, this project's looking to create 10 to 12 new jobs.
10 to 12 new jobs over the 8 that you have now?
Correct.
Oh, that's great. Okay,
Yes.
because not the memo said you're going to have new the existing 8 jobs or something like that.
we'll
So thank you for
definitely be
clarifying
expanding.
that. Okay, and then I do have another question, Heather. Both these, the old building where they're at now and the new building is in the TIF district. And so similar to what we saw when the ICE facility moved, they moved out their kind of dilapidated building to a new building. We had to put more TIF money into that other building they left. Are we anticipating something like that for this old building they're leaving? Is there issues there? What's the plan on that old facility?
There's no issues with the old building. I think the plan, correct me if I'm wrong, but is to rent out that building as is. There's nothing wrong with where they're currently at. They're just ready to expand to something that is a huge, amazing facility.
Yeah, from the plans, they look really good. I think it's going to really pop that whole area, which is, it's exciting to see.
Yeah. Yep.
So, all right, thank you.
Very good. Other questions for Heather or Ryan? Councilor Absonlier?
Sorry, this isn't for Heather or Ryan.
Oh, somebody else? That's fine.
Chris, I don't see Andy here, so there may not be an answer to this question. Do we have the TIF cash flow spreadsheet that can get pulled up
I don't have it. It was supposed to be on here. I do have a copy.
I can tell you verbally what's there. I don't have it ready to pull up, but I can tell you, Andy and I went over it this morning. So they've got a anticipated cash flow over the next couple of years. I think the low point's about 1.2 million over the next 2 years. And their annual cash, they have a revenue about 300,000 annually more than what they spend. So, 300
unallocated,
more than what their debt is. Yeah, so they're adding to that or investing that into projects like this. So from a cash flow perspective, they can cash flow this award.
Follow up,
please.
So let me just read back what I think I hear you say. So they're generating 300,000 now more than the current obligations that are there. And this is a one-time $600,000 payment out, still leaving them 1.2 with an annual growth model projected to add 300,000 to the TIF over the next couple of years. Is that accurate?
I think the only two corrections, one on my end and one on what you just said. I don't know that the 300,000 is after this award. Before this award, I'm confident it's at least the difference between expenditures and revenues about 300 a year. Balance, now that I've got it right in front of me. So balance for FY26, 1.5 million. FY27, anticipation, 1.2 million. FY28, 950,000. Then FY29, 570,000. Then starts heading north of seven figures. 2030 back up at 1.1, and 2031, 1.7.
Okay. And I guess this is just my comment. I'll support the application. I don't expect to see anybody back here when the other half of that block gets developed. I mean, this is a lot of money to dump into this location in a TIF that's not generating a lot of increment. And so just as you go forward, I'm going to be very hesitant about supporting another TIF application on the back half of the lot on redevelopment for the volume that we just put into this. I think it's a great project, but this is also a TIF that does not generate a ton of revenue currently. And I'm concerned that we're dumping a significant chunk into a very good project, not arguing the merits of it, but this is a big hit in a TIF district that doesn't generate a lot of income. So I'm concerned that we're hamstringing future opportunities for reinvestment in the surrounding neighborhood. I'll support it tonight, but cautiously, I guess.
Very good, thank you. Other questions for our applicant, for Heather, for staff? This does not have a public hearing, so once we'll jump into regular discussion then. Don't go far. We'll just open it up for council. How would you like to proceed? Councilmember Kennedy and Councilmember Gulick?
Mayor, I would recommend, I'd move to conditionally approve the tax increment financing assistance from the Ebert Tax Increment Finance District funds to the Montana Tire MBA Properties LLC to a maximum reimbursement of $634,185 as recommended by the Byrd Board.
Very good. Thank you. Councilmember Gulick indicates a second. Would either of you like to speak to your motion? First, Councilmember Kennedy and Councilmember Gulick.
I'm just happy to see that we have some new things going on, and I wish you success.
Very good. Councilmember Gulick.
It's great to see a new project go in there, and we need all kinds of services there. I would echo some of the concerns that Councilmember Aspenleiter said, but we have to kind of bootstrap ourselves up. So let's show the way for others, and yeah, but let's make sure we also leave something for other projects going forward too. So thank you.
Very good. Others, Councilmember Neese.
Thank you, Mayor. again, I'm going to support this. I agree with Councilman Espenlander regarding the back half of the property. As I looked at that too, I thought, you know, a lot of that's already being, the public is being developed. You're doing the sidewalks and curbs and gutters already. So there really shouldn't be a need to, so there, I wouldn't expect anything to come back to us. So I appreciate you doing that now and taking care of it. I do want to point out there's, you know, looking at the application, there are some errors in there. And Heather, I know you knew at this, and maybe you didn't do the full application and start it, but there are some issues as far as the repayability. It's actually a little bit longer than what's expected. Some of the ratios were incorrect, as well as when you look at this property. I was here when we first did a tear down. When we tore that property down, we put $66,000 into it, but we also lost $11,500 a year in tax revenue off of that. And so overall, we lost $92,000. So when you look at everything the city and the TIF has invested in this property over those last 8 years, it's going to really be, and the fact that the increment used to be higher, now we're bringing it back up. The net impact is going to take 23 years to repay this for what we, started back, 8 years ago. So in overall, this is something that is needed. It would have been nice to have got this done a lot sooner. But now that we're here and we're going to get this taken care of and finish this off, I think this is going to be great for the area. And hopefully, as these are intended to do, is be a catalyst to bring others in without having to do, TIF funds. And so that's what we're hoping, that what's across the street and what you're doing now, that's the increment. As we don't have a lot of TIF dollars coming in. Even with these projects, there won't be new money coming in. And so hopefully this will be the catalyst to bring more development there and then increase that TIF increment. So thank you very much for investing. We look forward to seeing that develop out.
Very good. Other discussion on the motion? I'll just comment that it's interesting to see this project. I guess I have some concern about putting all of our dollars in one area. First we had Yellowstone Ice and a vet clinic, and now Montana Tire property. And the downside of that is that money's not going to other parts of eBird. The benefit of that is it's going to this one area and is going to be very, very noticeable. Tens of thousands of people go through that corridor, and it's really in the core of eBird where all these good things are happening. And I'm not sure that this would have happened if it hadn't been for the vet clinic. I'm not sure the vet clinic would have happened if it hadn't been for Yellowstone Ice. So we are seeing the beneficial ancillary benefits of development once somebody steps forward and starts this process in the very core of eBird. So that's exciting. So I will certainly vote for it. Further discussion on the motion? Okay, then we'll move ahead. The motion is for approval of item 2, consistent with the staff recommendation. If in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. If opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Go forth and build.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. Very good. That concludes item number 2. Is there any public comment this evening on items that were not on our agenda? Public comment on non-agenda items, please come to the podium if you have anything not on our agenda. Is there any public comment on items not on our agenda? No one's stepping forward. No one's coming forward. So we'll close the public comment period there. Councilmember Kennedy just leaned over and said he did want to alert us to an upcoming council initiative. So, and also Councilmember Assenleiter. So Councilmember Kennedy, Councilmember Assenleiter.
Mayor, members of the council, Councilwoman Rogers and myself were at the Southside Task Force meeting last week. We had Councilwoman Owen, Deputy Mayor Boyette was there. We had the mayor there. We were talking with the state, and as we talked with the state of Montana, we have on the south side of the 6th Street underpass a swamp, and that their pond there that's supposed to be the drainage area. We asked if there would be any funding to help us landscape it, to get it to start draining, things like that. And the state said there wasn't any money. So I've been doing a little investigating. We do have, and I asked the mayor tonight if we have a member of the conservation district that the city appoints. We do. What I would like to bring back to the board is a proposal to the Conservation District asking them to look at our project over there, do the landscaping and making sure with the water runoff and everything that we could come up with some funding for a project. And then, as the state said, they didn't have the funding to go forward with the ongoing maintenance, that we would work with the South Side Task Force and the businesses on the South Side to do an ongoing maintenance as long as we got it landscaped and everything. So I want to bring that proposal back. Chris, I wanted to visit with you when we meet this week or next week so we can put that together with Councilwoman Rogers and then come back to the board with a proposal for the Conservation District. And hopefully we can clean that up over in that area. I just, it's always said that I just kind of bring something up at the last minute. I just wanted to give you a heads up, and I'll bring it back to the board. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for that heads up. We'll see what happens as you dig into that further. Councilor Aspenleiter?
Yeah, two things, and I'll let Councilman Rupsis handle the third one. First, we do have an ARC meeting this Wednesday. We did meet last week, but we have another one this Wednesday, just in the conference room over here, the Rimrock, to continue that conversation. So we do not have a week break in this one. We are meeting this Wednesday as it's on your schedules. Second one, I mentioned this to Chris earlier today. There's been a lot of problems now that BNSF has taken over the rail link, Montana Rail Link, with businesses on the north side of the railroad being able to work through sales, purchase agreements, those types of things, and actually move redevelopment projects forward on the south side of Montana Avenue, north of the railroad tracks. I've talked to a handful of developers that have been stalled out for a year or more trying to do development projects. They have reached out to the state to see if the state can do something and step in. The state has suggested, and I think probably appropriately, that maybe the city council and the city of Billings should try to lean into that issue and lean on BNSF a little bit more. So Chris and I had a very brief conversation about that. I think I'm going to work with Chris a little bit behind the scenes to see what could be done there and what the best approach is. But I just wanted to put that on everybody's radar. It is a crippling effect now that BNSF has taken over, and there are two businesses that are about to just walk away from redevelopment projects on Montana Avenue because they just can't get through BNSF. And for us, if revitalization of the downtown is a priority, then this is certainly something that we probably need to consider leaning into. So I don't know what that looks like yet, but I'm going to work with Chris and staff on that a little bit to see where we go. I said I had two only, but I have a third, if I may.
Before you go to the third one, can I just comment on the second one, which was, just so you know, I was copied on some emails today amongst, and initiated by the Montana League of Cities and Towns with the mayor's listserv on issues involving BNSF in other communities. A lot of the other communities are struggling to get easements for utilities, in particular involving railroad property. And so there's an interim committee at the legislature that is going to be talking about some of the issues involving BNSF specifically. So I'm just kind of letting you know that's out there. Maybe we can try to get you more information on whatever they're doing in that group. So
sure.
On this, before we go back to number three,
Yes.
Councilmember Kenny.
On BNSF, as we were told by the State Highway Department, that the underpass, which is a filthy mess, is owned by Burlington Northern Santa Fe. And the area along State Avenue is also Burlington Northern Santa Fe. We just can't get them to clean it up. So maybe if there's a way, if you're looking at some things, we can incorporate a few of the other things too to help us out. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you. Number three.
So third one, kind of coming off of this mental health tour thing that we went through, one of the conversations I had had with Commissioner Morse regarding that, there's a lot of questions about what that looks like, what the facility is, how it's operated, the nuts and bolts of what that looks like. Dan Villa from the Board of Investments can't answer any of those questions. You know, he's been tasked with building a facility, and that's what he's going to do. So what I suggested to Commissioner Morse was maybe we should consider a joint letter requesting the governor and the DPHHS director come to Billings to sit down jointly with the city council and the county commissioners and talk to us about what they envision this being, how it's going to be operated, so that we can actually answer some questions when we inevitably get them from our constituents and from this community as it goes forward and they look at these sites further. I think that's the appropriate way to probably approach that, is considering some kind of joint letter to the governor and to the DPHHS director. So I throw that out as a suggestion that's going to take a little bit of coordination with the county commission. I'm happy to do that, but I don't know where the appropriate place to do that or put that on another agenda is, but that's something I would throw on the table for us to consider.
And here I'll throw to the city administrator, Chris. Some of us are out of town. We're not able to participate in that tour. I think most people have a general idea what happened there, but the community does not. So I'm assuming that staff was going to try to find a work session or some opportunity in the future to brief us. And that seems like the appropriate time to have these kind of discussions of what the next step would be. Personally, I'd certainly support that kind of letter, although I'd say what we really need, in addition to any sort of a meeting, is paperwork. You know, some sort of an analysis of what they're planning at a 30,000 foot level, even how many people, how many beds, what's the likely impacts on a community, maybe some myths, maybe some realities, what the role of the state would be, what the role of the community would be, those sorts of things in paper. In my world, if it doesn't exist on paper, it doesn't exist. So getting that before a meeting would be more helpful than just having a meeting and having talk.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Ashland.
I don't disagree with you. I think we're going to have to request that officially from DPHHS.
That could be part of that letter,
yeah.
What the sort of things that we would
having
want.
that conversation with Board of Investments, who is essentially a land developer, is not going to yield any information that already doesn't partially exist. I don't even think they know 100% what they're actually building there. So we really need to have some kind of dialogue with the decision makers, which are DPHHS, as to what that's going to look like. So how we do that, I'll leave that to you all to weigh in, or the staff to do that. But I think this is appropriate to jointly do it with Yellowstone County.
Chris, I'll kick it to you. Obviously, we have to stay at a high level because technically on our agenda, this is initiatives, which I think we've gone beyond that, but it's still important for the public. So can you comment a little bit?
Yeah, fairly easy on this end, because what I want to correct is the staff doesn't have a report to make. The state of Montana has requested, and they're looking into this area. What have we done? We have met with Mr. Vila. Basically, there were three purposes in the discussion we had about a month ago. One, he appreciated an introduction to our development staff team to understand if a project is developed anywhere inside the city limits of Billings, from zoning through occupancy permit. I wanted to introduce him to those leaders in the same way we would any other private business who may do business in the community. We were asked if there were sites that we could point them to consider. We had that conversation, and then last, we were asked to participate in the tour that took place last week. So our encouragement, that dialogue is open, but it really is a state project. And so be glad to find a work session of which to invite them to report to you as to where they are in their process. Yeah.
Okay. Anything further? Councilmember Rupsis.
Thank you, Mayor. In the spirit of piling on, so we keep everybody here for a little longer, I've got two things. First, Councilmember Aspenlighter's initiative to potentially put something on the ballot related to the council size, as we know, didn't pass, but we had some conversation after that. I wanted to talk about council rules and how we can make this meeting possibly more efficient or those kinds of things. I think Councilmember Aspenlighter and I have both asked Chris to put it on an upcoming work session agenda where we can just have some time to talk amongst ourselves and talk about what those kind of rules might be or our ideas for making the meeting more efficient. So, Chris, I just want to make sure we're on track to get on that on a future work session.
Okay.
The other thing is when we pass the budget this year, thank you for the support, looking into what a housing program might look like here in Billings. I am putting together a committee to do that. It'll be mostly people at other agencies. We'll be looking for help from Homefront, Continuum of Care, HBA, BAR, Chamber, Big Sky Economic, all the usual participants in the housing market. If there is one other person on council who has a particular interest in this topic and would like to sit in on that committee, I'd be happy to take your assistance or participation. It'll be probably a series of 3 to 4 2-hour meetings over the next 3 to 4 months so that we can wrap this up by the end of December before I get out of here. So, thank you.
Very good. And I'll just comment on your first item. We do have a formula or a forum, not formula, forum for especially addressing those issues of our internal processes, and that's the Council Operations Committee. And so they continue to meet. We've been going through Article 2, our ordinances, and I think you described those as clarifications and tweaks. We're putting together a red line version to bring back to council. I would not say that we are talking about any sort of major overhaul, but clarification. So whatever would come out of a discussion by the body could then be further massaged by the Council Operations Committee, I would anticipate. So, okay, with that, if there's nothing further, I'm about to adjourn. Any objection? Chris objects.
Sorry, I'm going to
Chris, go ahead.
I'm going to add 30 seconds. I should have done it during my report. Thursday evening, employee appreciation night at the Billings Mustangs game, a shared expense. I want to thank you to Mayor and Ann Cole in the city of Billings. The two of us are sharing that expense as an appreciation to our employees. And I think we've got over 500 who have taken us up on it. So well received. And last but not least, be looking in this week's weekly for the naming, a process for naming the lakes. We think the Great Lakes probably doesn't, it's already taken, but Public Works has put together, I think, a pretty robust process for engaging the community in the naming of our reservoirs to the west. And so take a look at that and give us feedback. So that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Very good. Thank you very much. Then with that, we're adjourned.